Feminism. The word always seems to annoy some people. When I bring up the subject of feminism, I often get reactions like, "Ugh, come on, feminism? Is that even necessary anymore?" Or even more popular, "Ugh, those are overreacting feminists. They're like crazy feminazis." And okay, maybe it is a bit weird how passionate I can be about this subject, because the situation isn't that horrible here in Belgium. It could be so much worse. And it used to be so much worse. So much has changed for women in such a short time. But that's why I am still passionate about feminism. Because around the world, millions and millions of women are still waiting for that change. Women who get raped and then blamed for it, because obviously they were asking for it. Or even worse, as a weapon in war. Little girls who are forced to marry strange old men and have children with those men, just because that's how it's supposed to be. And little girls who are forced to stay at home from school because girls are not supposed to learn and study. Women only exist to serve their husbands at home. And I can't accept these things. And neither could Malala Yousafzai. Malala grew up in the little village of Mingora in Pakistan, a place where the Taliban is very active. And when they set an edict in 2012 that said no girls were allowed to go to school, she was outraged. So a long battle for female education started. But going against the will of the Taliban is very, very dangerous. So in 2012, she was shot in the head brutally. But miraculously, she survived, and she picked up her activism again. In 2013, she spoke in front of various people of great importance, like Obama and the whole UN, and she even wrote a book. She kept fighting for her beliefs, and those beliefs are that every girl, every woman has a right to education, and that this can be achieved without violence. Now, it's obvious that Malala is an extremely courageous girl. Pretty much any girl would have kept her mouth shut after being shot through the head. But Malala didn't. She kept fighting, and not in a violent way. And that's what I admire even more. She said once that she used to tell herself that if a Talib would attack her, she would just take her shoe and hit him. But then she realized, if you hit a Talib with your shoe, if you attack a Talib, that makes you no better than the Talib himself. And that really got to me, because I know myself. I know I would have taken my shoe immediately and hit him where I know it would have really, really hurt. But Malala's right, of course. You can't fight violence with more violence. That won't make the violence disappear, it will just add more. And that's why she inspires me. She gives me hope that I too can make a change with just my voice. That no matter how extremely hopeless the situation may seem, you can always try to make a change. And I can try. I can try to make the world a better place, even for one person. Because making life better for one person is still making a change. And that's why I am still passionate about it. But of course, this does not only count for women. This also counts for gay people, for colored people, for everyone who has ever been discriminated or judged because of who they are and what they want to be. This counts for everyone who lives in a state of poverty or hunger. And maybe it's naive of me to believe this, but I think words can change the world. I believe if lots of people start spreading the same ideas, that people actually will start listening. And things might even change. I believe that maybe one day women will have the chance to walk the streets at night and not feel petrified that they'll be jumped by some stranger in an alley. Maybe one day a black man will have the same chances at a job as a white man. Maybe one day no one will care if you're a boy who likes boys or girls or both, or if that boy actually really feels like a girl. One person can't change the world, but a large group of people can. And that's why I won't shut up, because words can go a long way. Thank you very much.
Besides equality, what is the most important change you would want to see in the world?
This is actually not a big problem, but I feel like lots of people look at the world so negatively. And I would like to see that change. I would like to see people look at the world more positively and see problems when they are there, but focus on the good things too and stop being cynical. And I don't know how people can change that, but it's something that I really wish to see in the world, more positivity.
How loud do your words have to be in order to be heard?
I feel right now too loud. I feel like lots of people don't really care anymore what anyone else has to say. I feel like people focus too much on their own opinions and just think my opinion is the right opinion, and I don't even really care what you have to say. I'm sure you have your opinion, but mine's better. So I feel like to really change things, people should start listening more, so people don't have to scream that loud anymore, and give more people the chance, like Malala, to spread their beliefs.
But what if they don't want to listen? If they refuse to listen?
I think that's a big problem, that some people really don't want to listen. But I think everyone has problems in their lives. Everyone has things that they struggle with. So if someone says, I don't care about your problem, I just don't want to listen, I think people would say, and what if I was talking about that? Would you care then? Well, other people are struggling with that, just like you are struggling with that. Wouldn't you want everyone to be listening? And that's all you can do, really. I think violence is not an option to make people listen.
Are men capable of understanding and expressing these feminist feelings?
I think men are never really able to think like a woman, just like a woman is never really able to think like a man, and they can never really know what it feels like to be a woman. But I do believe that men have a sense of empathy and that they can know if they're being discriminated for whatever reason, they can relate to that if they want to.
What is feminism to you?
To me, feminism is trying to gain equality for all women, especially not making the women the oppressors or saying that women are better than men, because they're not. We're equal. And feminism for me is trying to make women be seen in our society as people of equal worth as men. That's feminism for me.
In your speech, you mention problems or crimes such as rape. Do you think that better equality will truly eliminate these crimes from the world?
I do not. I think it would be naive to think that rape will really disappear. But I do think we live in a culture where rape gets, it's seen as something that isn't always that bad. I have read quotes of men saying, "Oh, sex is sex. If you're having sex anyway, why don't you just lay back and enjoy it?" And that's honestly one of the most stupid things I've ever heard. Or when a girl is raped, and the defense of those guys is, "But did you see what she was wearing? It's like she's asking for it." No one ever asks to be raped. So I think there is something in our society that treats those problems sometimes like they're not as important as they really are.